And so we got through the boxing challenge in the Coliseum. What happens now? Mm. When I woke up again, my eyelids felt like they were made of lead, and my head felt like someone had filled it full of especially sharp gravel. Where am I?
よう気がついたか
Shirabe? I blinked and looked over at him, and then everything came rushing back. That's right, I was fighting that piglet and it hit me, and then I passed out. My gloves had been removed, and Shirabe had taken off his coat and laid it over me. I don't know if that would help, necessarily, but... Oh, maybe it's cold outside. Maybe that's what it is. We won, right?
ああそうだ
He nodded firmly. That's good. I tried to get up, but when I did, my joints screamed in pain.
まだ動くなもう少しそのまま寝てた方がいい
Okay.
本当にすまないお前さんを危険な目には合わせないとか言っておきながら結局こんなことになっちまった
Oh, come on, don't be like that.
おじいちゃん
We're both safe now, and that's what matters. Besides, you did keep me safe. If you hadn't stopped the guy when you did,
お前さんもよく頑張ってくれたさ
then it was a victory won by both of us. So it's kind of, again, I mean, there's no rules, I guess, unless, Hogstein wasn't really clear about the rules. But was it cheating? It seemed like it was. You can't just, wake up from your unconscious state and just ambush the other dude while they were fighting. I don't know. He gave me a small, tight smile. Oh, how long has it been? Is my...
大丈夫だこのゲームは時間無制限だからなそれに報酬になっている以上奴も前にはうかつに手を出せないさ
Huh, yeah, I guess you're right. It didn't feel right to try and go back to sleep, so I sat up and handed Shirabe's jacket back to him. Thank you for the coat. It was very warm.
そうかならよかった
I checked my phone and realized the day was already over.
あの後俺も気を失っちまってな気がついた時にはもう黒子たちはいなくなってた
It's past midnight.
あ
Oh, looks like Shido tried to call me a couple times. He probably got worried when we never showed up. They were probably all worried about us, in fact. I should call them back and let everyone know we're safe.
あやめとけこっちはゲーム中なんだ下手に連絡すればルール違反だと言われる可能性も
Oh, right. Until we beat in the game, we could only talk to each other.
まずは体力を回復することを考えろこの先何が待ち構えてるのか予想もつかないからな
You're right. Was the game still going on technically? I mean, sometimes they're not really clear about the rules, about how many rounds there are in the game. I don't know. We sat quietly at the corner of the stage for a while. Shirabe has said he felt restless, but it didn't take long for him to quiet down and close his eyes. Shirabe,
どうした
what was Hogstein talking about this afternoon when he said you were bothering some families?
やっぱり気になるよな
Yeah.
そうだな巻き込んじまった以上お前さんにはきちんと話しておくべきだろうなでなきゃフェアじゃない
I'd like to if that's okay. He nodded and rubbed his forehead.
俺が追いかけてるのは俺がまだ駆け出しの雑誌記者だった
I didn't mean to do that. Oops.
俺が追いかけてるのは俺がまだ駆け出しの雑誌記者だった頃の事件だ俺が
Oop, I didn't mean to... Okay.
今から
Continue.
12年前バスの事故が起こった金堂循環バス炎上事故と呼ばれるその事故で俺の知り合いが亡くなった
Okay, so he's talking about the bus accident again. I wonder how much we learn in this round. He seems to be the one that is most invested in finding out the truth behind this accident. I wonder if, some of the mystery at least gets solved in this round. I don't know.
彼は俺のジャーナリストとしての師匠でな本当に優秀で正確かつ情熱的な記事を書く人だった
Oh, he sounds like an awesome guy.
不可解な事故だった。市営の循環バスがいきなり中央分離帯を乗り越えて向かい側の車線を走ってきた乗用車と正面から衝突したんだ。バスは横転して炎上し、バスの乗客も乗用車に乗ってた家族連れもほとんどが死亡した。俺の師匠はたまたま夫婦でそのバス
Oh, okay. So I was wondering, which one was the, Shirabe's mentor? The one in the car, in the family we always saw in the flashbacks? But I guess the mentor was in the bus, actually. So the mentor was on the bus with his wife. So they both...
ああ。そして事故は当時、事件性はないってことで、早々に処理されちまった。
And I believe initially, Urabe did say that the bus accident, well, it was no accident, It was actually a hit by his father, I believe, right? And that was intended to kill Shirabe's mentor.
報道では、運転手の持病が原因でハンドル操作を誤ったと伝えられた。だが俺は、あれを単なる事故だとは思ってない。
What do you mean?
師匠はその時、ある山を追ってたんだ。それは巨大な汚職事件だったんだ。事故の何日か前に師匠は俺についに尻尾を掴んだと連絡してきた。もしあの事故が不幸な偶然なんかじゃなく、師匠の口封じのために仕組まれたものだとしたら。
But what if it wasn't? I feel like, I don't know. Without any context, anyone that says, what if it wasn't? It's like, you sound like a crazy conspiracy theorist, but obviously we know that it is true that, yes, someone did try to assassinate Shirabe's mentor.
俺の頭にはその考えがこびりついて離れなかった。だから調べたんだ。何年もかけて。
Have you found anything?
いや、何もわからなかったのさ。
What? Really?
まるで証拠がもみ消されてるかのように、手がかりになるようなものはきれいさっぱりなくなっちまってた。それが逆に怪しく思えてな。当時の捜査資料を手に入れるために、俺は何度も危ない橋を渡ったよ。
I guess in a way, maybe that does prove there's something, some foul play, I guess.
そして、やっと事故の目撃証言が書かれた資料を手に入れたんだ。
And we know that will be Meoshi.
それを読んだ俺は、ますます師匠が口封じのために殺されたという疑いを強めたんだが、そんな時だ。M2 と名乗るやつから連絡が入ったのは、事故の真実が知りたければ、金堂ブロッサムランドのオープニングイベントに来い。M2 はそう言った。
And that's why you are here.
ああ、お前さんにしてみれば、12年も前の事故を今更って思うかもしれない。それでも俺は真実が知りたい。真実を知らなきゃ、俺自身が前に進めないような気がするんだ。
You're too invested. You can't give up now. What's the point if you do? Because it'll feel like all of that was for nothing. Obviously. Oh. 12 years. That's dedication. And it all started with the death of his friend. I couldn't even begin to imagine how hard that must have been. He seems kind of lonely sometimes. I wonder if that's why. I didn't know what to say.
お嬢ちゃんがそんな顔する必要はないさ。どうだ？一本。
Do you want some Pocky, I guess? He held out one of his snacks, and as I looked at it, I realized I hadn't eaten in over a day. Yeah, thanks. We ate his snacks until we felt a little more full. They're empty calories, though. You're gonna get fat, Saki.
さてと。
You can't just eat candy all day. He grabbed both pairs of gloves and stood up.
ちょっとこの辺りを調べてみるか。
Oh, I'll go with you.
立てるか。
Yeah, I'm all better now. I windmilled my arms in a few stretches to make sure, but everything seemed to be in order. I still hurt a bit, but I figured I could handle it. Shirabe and I split up to investigate the Colosseum. So I just wonder, is there more to do here? Do we win the game already, or I don't know? Because well, obviously we do know that there is another part to this Colosseum game, right? It didn't take us long to meet up at the door the piglets had come through, which was unlocked. All right, let's go. The hallway on the other side of the door was pitch black. I need to be careful or I might trip. Almost as if he'd read my mind, Shirabe held out his hand. What? Yes, every time. Always taking the opportunity to hold hands. Any excuse. You know, they're gonna take the opportunity. What a bunch of degenerates. Thanks. Thanks. I took his hand. It felt dry and hard. Wow, his hands are so big. I don't know what that means. Feeling them wrapped around mine made my heart pound. Okay. Okay. What the heck was that? Does he really think of me as a kid, like Mai? He gripped my hand tight as we descended further into the darkness. What's this room? After several long minutes in the pitch-black hallway, we came out into a large room. The only lights were trained on a circular stage in the center of the room. On the stage were more piglets, each one already wearing gloves and shin guards. There are 3 of them this time. The piglets gestured for us to get up on the stage. But we only barely won last time. We were both still pretty exhausted too. Things weren't looking good. The piglets made a series of confrontational gestures. Shirabe sighed and helped me put my gloves on. Huh. No friendly fire. Okay, I'll be careful. We nodded at one another and climbed up onto the stage. Just like before, the fight started in silence. Right. Shirabe moved in front of me and dropped into a fighting stance. Are you doing a peekaboo style, you know? Are you doing like... What's the other style? I mean, there's many... I guess there's many boxing stances, you could call them. But, Philly shell style? Is that what it is? I think the other one's like Philly shell style. The piglets circled around us and began closing in. There's nowhere for us to go. Before long, they herded us into a single corner of the stage. He tossed out a feint at one of the piglets, but they dodged it easily with a quick sidestep. Shirabe threw out several more punches. None of them hit, but when one of the piglets took a larger step to dodge, another piglet moved out of the way. What was that? It looked like the piglet had been trying to avoid touching his companion. I started watching them more closely and realized that they seemed to be watching one another closely to keep their distance. It looks like they're having a hard time working together, especially after what that one piglet did. Wait, could it... Explosive insight. Why are the piglets avoiding each other? Shirabe and I need to remember not to touch each other's gloves. Oops, I didn't even do that. Can I... Can't... you can't actually remove... Yeah, you can't remove clues when you accidentally touch them. I didn't want to select, I wanted to press help. But, oh well. We'll get electrocuted if we aren't careful. 3 against 1 is a lot to handle, even for Shirabe, especially when we have to be careful not to touch each other. Shirabe's doing his best, but things don't look good, I have to think. If we electrocute each other, the game could end before we even get punched. The piglets have surrounded us and forced us into a corner. We haven't even hit them once. Miyoshi would say they're at full health. That's what he would say. I'm still feeling the beating I took in the last match, and Shirabe's too. But even though they totally have the upper hand, they're not attacking, and they keep watching each other for some reason. We're hurt, outnumbered, and cornered. It doesn't take a genius to see how that ends. Are they just taking their time because they know they can beat us whenever they want? Because? Like when one of them dodged Shirabe, another one dodged that one. That was definitely weird. Why did he do that? If we're gonna survive this match, I have to figure this out. Maybe it's something to do with how, like... Let's figure this out. Like, you know, it's not just the gloves, but also just in general, touching each other now is, you know, will set an electric shock. So maybe we could use that to our advantage, maybe? I don't know. Around us from the corner, upper hand. Watching each other for some reason. Not Shirabe. Because I'm thinking, like, maybe if we somehow make them touch each other, even though we're outnumbered, maybe we do have the advantage. Of course, we are the only ones who have to be careful about not touching each other. The piglets can shock their buddies too. Shirabe. I kept my voice at a whisper. The piglets can get shocked by each other's gloves just like we can. I think that's why they're acting kind of weird. Okay, well actually it's not really... I guess it's the same, it's just that we realize that they also have friendly fire on. I guess it's not so much the fact that they're just not simply touching each other, because if you do, they get electric shock. Because that's what I thought. I thought that it wasn't just the gloves now, it was just like in general. If you touch each other, maybe? I don't know. Just as Shirabe had likely planned, our son's movement caught the piglets by surprise. He didn't waste the opening. The moment he flanked them, he spun around, lowered himself in tackling stance, and charged. I guess a classic medieval tactic, you know, hammer and anvil. You flank the enemy and then you charge together at once, you know. One of the piglets reacted in time to throw out a kick, nicking Shirabe on the shoulder. But momentum was on his side, and Shirabe barreled into the piglet that had attacked him like a freight train. Freight train? Freight train? What's it called? Freight train, right? Freight. The impact threw it into the other two piglets, and they collapsed like sparking dominoes. Sparking. They didn't move. It looked like their gloves and shin guards had touched, which had probably given them an extremely high voltage shock. Oh no! I ran over to Shirabe and he collapsed to the stage. Are you okay? I quickly put off my gloves and shin guards and grabbed Shirabe's shoulder. Don't actually, yeah, that'd be really bad if we accidentally touched him with the gloves. Nothing, you're hurt. But come on, you need to lay down. I gently stopped him from trying to get up and laid his head down on my lap. Yes, like... It's a head lap. What do you call it? Head lap. Is that a word? I don't know, anyway. Lap rest? Anyway, he's resting on her lap. He let out a long relieved sigh. I'm so glad you're okay. We both smiled. Then suddenly his face twisted in pain. What's wrong? I saw his hand shake as he pressed it to his leg. Wait. Sorry about this. Before I could protest, I reached out and pulled his boot off. Then I pulled his pants off. No, what? No. I gasped The foot underneath the boot was swollen and an ugly purplish red. Well, that's a infection and a half. Is this the injury he got at the hospital? Oh my gosh. I noticed him tearing the leg during the first fight, but I never imagined. How on earth were you walking on this? He is very careful. You can't do this to yourself. Suddenly I felt like crying. I can't believe he's been like this the whole time and never said anything. I've covered wars, you know. That just actually reminds me of that dude, you know, Frank. Was his name Frank West? Oh, no, maybe that's the wrong name, but you know, the guy from Dead Rising. You know, the zombie game where you have like a time limit and then you take photographs of everything. There's like a bunch of sequels for that one, but the first one was the best, I guess. Which actually reminds me, I think Keiji Inafune, you know, again, the cameo in this game actually did work on Dead Rising. So I wonder if that is a reference to that, like actually a game reference. I've covered wars once, you know. You've been apologizing to me since yesterday. Stop doing that, please. It was my decision to come help you. So whatever happens, I chose to put myself in this situation, not you. You don't need to apologize for something you didn't do. He stared at me for several long seconds, his mouth twisted in a sort of surprised grin. Really? I smiled to myself. Well, sure it's nice to feel like he thinks I'm not just a kid. Oh boy. It looks like those piglets were it, so I think we can take a break here for take a break here for a bit. He let out a relaxed sigh and twined his fingers together over his chest.
Nah, お嬢ちゃん。さっきの話の続きなんだがな。俺が追いかけてる事件の話だ。ワルド部のやつが言ってただろ。事故の遺族への仕打ちがどうのこうのって。
Oh, right.
ただ単に調べ舞さんに自分の父親がどんな人間なのかしっかり理解してほしいだけです。
Again, kind of weird that when you do, I don't know, is it like a weird glitch? Or maybe it's intended, but like, when you get flashbacks of Count Hogstein, his real voice kind of comes out, you know? Over the filter.
あなたがあの事故の遺族に一体どんな仕打ちをしたのかをじっくり教えて差し上げようと思いましてね。
And we did hear some of Hogstein's real voice in Wakasa's route, actually. You know, a little bit of it anyway.
事故の遺族に俺がした仕打ち。それが俺がフリーになるきっかけだったんだ。
His face looked tight as he spoke. What do you mean?
師匠の死の真実を追いかける何年間の間に俺は事故の遺族たちにも会っていた。もちろん全員に会えたわけじゃない。行方知れずになってる遺族もいたが、それでも会える限りの人たちから話を聞いてきた。そこで俺は考えたんだ。あの凄惨な事故の記憶を風化させないためにも、遺族の気持ちを記事にして世に残しておきたいと。俺は事故に関する客観的な事実と遺族の言葉を記事としてまとめ上げた。
Shirabe's mouth thinned into a line.
だが、それがそのまま世に出ることはなかったんだ。
What? Why not?
当時の俺の上司だったデスクが、記事がつまらないって言い出したのさ。
It's too boring. These people, you know, grieving over dead ones. That happens all the time.
もっと推測と誇張を織り込め、世間の興味を煽るような センセーショナルな内容に仕立て上げろってな。
That's horrible.
もち
But
ろん
that's how you...
反発した。それじゃあ遺族の気持ちが
That's how the news works, though, buddy.
だが結局デスクが俺の書いた記事を勝手に書き換えて紙面に載せちまった。
No.
遺族の言葉も何もかも変えられちまって、まるでゴシップ記事みたいな三流以下の出来になっちまったよ。その代わり世間では大きな反響を呼んだけどな。
That's awful.
ライターとして記名してあった俺のもとには随分遺族から苦情が来てな。ただひたすら申し訳なかった。あの記事を守りきれなかったのは間違いなく俺の責任だ。
That's why you became a freelancer.
ああ、会社には絶望しても記者としての仕事だけは捨てられなくてな。
Wow, I had no idea.
おっと、すまなかったな。小難しい話を長々と。お前さんにはつまらない話だっただろう。
From his reaction, the look on my face must have been kind of strange. Maybe sorry for boring you. You know, it's like, yeah, you did bore me a little bit, you know, just like your old boss. You're boring. Give me something more sensational. No, it was cool to learn about you. It wasn't boring at all. In fact, I'm glad you told me. I like knowing more about you.
そうか。
Yeah.
こんな話に興味を持つなんて珍しいお嬢ちゃんだな。
Can you blame me? You're a mystery. Listening to your story was like reading a really good book. I'm kinda hoping you'll tell me more.
そういうもんかね。
Well, no, because your leg is
俺も
almost
この
falling
話を
off.
誰かに話すのは初めてだ。 お前さんに聞いてもらったらなんだか少し気が楽になったような気がするな。
If I pull, like I was gonna say, like if I pull his leg anymore, you know, it's gonna like just pop right off. That's good to hear. Oh, that reminds me.
どうした？
Yeah, I told you to stop apologizing.
そうだったな。すまん。
Told you to stop saying sorry. Sorry about that. Oh, sorry. He smacked his forehead, and I couldn't help but grin. No more apologies from either of us, okay? We don't have anything to apologize for.
そうだな。
He scratched his head and coughed awkwardly.
さて、そろそろ行くか。
He climbed to his feet on his own, but he still looked a little unsteady. Are you gonna be okay?
ああ。それに、舞が待ってるからな。
I nodded, and he headed for the next room. Alright, there you go. That's his little backstory. I do like learning about the characters and how, like, you know, adding some depth to their personalities and why they're the way they are and everything. You know, it's actually pretty realistic, actually. You know, if you're working at a news outlet or any kind of, like, you know, article, newspaper article, whatever, or like just a news site, even online, I guess. If you don't get the clicks, you know, you're not gonna get the money. So it's actually not unbelievable, or rather it is believable. Anyway, on the other side of the door in the back of the arena was a room covered in lavish decorations. Oh yeah, it's the Excalibur, but there's only 2 of us now, so before it was like 7 in Shido's route. 7? Yeah, it was 7. But now it's only 2, so like I don't think we can grab this out of the stone. In the back of it was a throne, in front of which was a stone with a large sword stuck in it. Oh, and there's Mai. On the throne was Mai.
舞！
Mai! We ran up to her. She grinned when she noticed us.
大丈夫だったか？ワルド部のやつに何かされたりしなかったか？
ワルド部？
She looked at us confused.
すっごく楽しかったよ。ピンクの豚のお兄ちゃんがお菓子買ってくれたの。
Pink? I didn't think Hogstein was wearing pink. That's kind of weird. There was definitely something strange there, but Shirabe didn't seem concerned with it.
お前、 その豚と何をしてたんだ？
二人で剣を持ってね、黒い豚さんの人をバンバンってやっつけて、前ね、王様になったんだよ。
王様？全然わからんな。
She seemed happy, and it looked like Hogstein had treated her well, just like he said he would. It sounded like they'd just been playing until we arrived.
マイ、お前、お菓子を買ってくれるって言われてついていったのか？
Now that's the first thing you should have taught her. Don't take candy from strangers. He was frowning.
と、
My smile had started to waver, and she looked over at me, then back at Shirabe.
ね、舞が起きたら、お兄ちゃんがいてね、パパのお友達だって。
だがな、なんでそういう時パパに確認を？
Shirabe. I tapped him on the shoulder and he sighed.
なあ、こういう時はどうすりゃいいんだ？
He looked like he was honestly at a loss. Well, I mean, I guess both of these options are kind of correct. Don't get mad at her, give her a hug. I don't know, sure, give her a hug. I don't know. Give her a hug. Just give her a hug. Just do it.
抱きしめる？
A hug. A nice, strong, friendly hug.
あ、おう。
He looked confused but wrapped his arms around her anyway.
とにかく、お前が無事でよかった。マイ。
Mai hugged him back at least as much as her tiny arms could manage.
ごめんなさい、パパ。舞のこと心配してくれたんだね。
当たり前だ。本当によかった。
Shirabe gave me a wink over my shoulder. It was the right thing to do. Wow. This hug works out. It looks like they're starting to warm up to each other, and that makes me happy. I mean, I guess, you know, it's kind of a cliche, but it's kind of like, you know, the idea is that the point is not to get mad at her. The point you're trying to get across is that you were worried about her in the first place. You know, get that across instead of just, like, scolding her. You can scold her later. For now, just, you know, express your worry about her and then she'll understand, I guess, is the idea. I don't know. I smiled back. I almost jumped and Hogstein's voice blared out of speakers somewhere above our heads. You!
ごたくはいい。俺たちはここまでたどり着いたんだ。ゲームはクリアってことでいいな。よろしいでしょう。お二人のゲームクリアを認めます。報酬として調べマイカーをお受け取りください。
Okay. I mean, that kind of works out. Okay. Then with a click, he was gone. Alright.
なんとか終わったな。
I'm just glad we got my back.
舞もパパとお姉ちゃんが迎えに来てくれて嬉しいよ。
Almost on cue, the door leading outside slid open with a heavy grinding noise.
さあ、みんなのところに戻るか。
Right. The exit dumped us out onto the plaza in front of the Castle Hogstein.
まだ午後4時だ。他の連中はゲームの真っ只中だろうな。
Oh, I hope they do okay.
あいつらならきっと大丈夫だ。待ってる間、俺たちは少し休ませてもらうか。
I'd say that sounds pretty good. I was mentally and physically exhausted. If I could have, I would have sat down right then and there and slept for a week. We can't go back to the hotel yet, though. What should we do?
そうだな。
あ、パパのお腹の虫が鳴いた。
すっかり腹ペコだよ。
I'm pretty hungry too. In fact, I haven't had anything to eat since that snack we should have been in the Coliseum.
よし。じゃあレストランに行こう。 あそこなら飯を食って休むこともできるだろう。
Agreed, let's go.
はーい、ご飯だ。
Finally get some real food, you know? Rather than like a bunch of Pocky sticks. It didn't take us long to get there. The restaurant was open, the staff was there, but nobody seemed to be cooking. Are you guys not open yet? The piglets shook their heads apologetically. I guess they're not ready. What should we do now?
まあ急な客だしな。仕方ないか。
パパ、ご飯食べられないの？
そうだな。ああ、いや、そんなことはないぞ。
So, do we just wait here?
お前たちはちょっとここで待っててくれ。
Shirabe headed over to one of the piglets and began to talk. After a moment, they nodded to one another and disappeared into the Chinese section.
パパ、何するのかな？
I'm guessing that he's gonna cook himself, maybe? Gonna help out to make the meals faster? You wanna go take a peek? We headed over toward where Shirabe had gone. He was looking around inside a fridge.
お、冷や飯は残ってるみたいだな。あとは卵に長ネギ。
Are you gonna make some fried rice? Some classic fried rice? He plucked ingredients out of the fridge as he mumbled, stacking them deftly on the counter next to him. It looks like he's gonna cook.
パパ、お料理できるの？
I think we're about to find out. He sure doesn't look like someone who'd know how to cook. I started to rethink my assumption though. As I watched him, he was far from delicate, but there's no denying he did know what he was doing. For long, a delicious aroma started to waft out of the wok he was cooking in. I think it's pretty much fried rice. That's how you cook fried rice. You don't usually do it, you don't have to, but the best way to cook fried rice is with with a wok or wok. How you say it? I don't know how you say it. Wok? Wok? Wika waka wok?
わ
Wok.
ー、いい匂い。
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Let's go wait for him back at the table. We were chatting away at the table when Shirabe appeared about 10 minutes later with several large steaming bowls.
よーし、できたぞ。
He dropped a mountainous plate of fried rice onto the table, followed by a bowl of hearty soup. Oh my gosh, this looks delicious.
パパ、すごい。
I felt my stomach growl as Shirabe scooped out servings of rice and soup for each of us. Thanks, Shirabe.
いただきます。
Itadakimasu.
二人ともたくさん食えよ。
I took a bite of the rice first. It wasn't too sticky or too dry, and the seasoning was perfect. When you do the thing, you know, in any kind of like food anime, or like it goes into like an imaginary scene, or clothes like just tear open, just have a food orgasm. I don't know, something like that. Actually, it reminds me, a very distinct scene. I forget what the anime was called, but I remember when I was really young, actually. There's some kind of cooking anime. With some dude, and the first thing he did in the first episode was actually cook fried rice. And the person who ate it was like, oh my gosh, the best thing ever, you know? I just distinctly remember that scene from some random anime. I forget what the anime is, or, you know, what it even is about. I don't really remember anything about it except that one scene. I don't remember, because the main character was like wearing some kind of like, I think he was like wearing some kind of like bandana, you know? It was like a red bandana. And he had like blue hair. I don't remember. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong. Anyway, it's amazing. All this is amazing. I had no idea you could cook. He rubbed he wrapped the back of his head and shrugged.
まあ、一人暮らしが長いからな。自然と上達しちまうもんさ。
The seasoning is incredible. It's just the right amount. I feel like I could eat this forever.
パパのご飯、すっごく美味しい。
Shirabe broke into a wide
そう
smile.
か。よかった。もっとたくさん食えよ。おかわりはいっぱいあるからな。
Maya was shoveling fried rice into her mouth so fast she could barely breathe. And then she choked on the rice and died. There you go, Shirabe. You killed another one of them. I wonder if they like the same stuff since they're family and all. I mean, I can see the resemblance.
パパもいっぱい食べてね。
They both have like pocky sticks in their mouths and have bandages on their faces. to wear like green clothes, or at least, well, she's wearing a green backpack, I guess. Shirabe nodded and fell to eating his own rice. If they spend more time together, hopefully they'll get to know each other better. That would be nice anyway. Oh, I got a text.
どうした?
No, it's from my uncle.
そちらの様子はどうだ? 悪辣な企みに身も心も削られ。
This is the same message. We always get this text message from every single round.
そんな時に
How's it going over
無
there?
理かどうかを考えるよりも、ま
I
ず
have no like real advice for you, but just good luck.
どんなに難しいことでも
Just do it.
チャレンジを諦めない限り
Whatever it is, just go, and then you'll be the best.
お前がチャレンジし続けることを祈っている。
I read through his message again and felt his encouragement wash away my exhaustion. No matter what happened, I wouldn't give up.
ほう、力が湧いてくるような言葉だな。
That's funny
い
because
いおじさんだな。
I feel like I don't know if it's like was part of the writing, but obviously no one's gonna say he's not a good guy because he's literally a real person. It would be bad publicity if some of the characters in this game actually said like, "Oh, Keiji's is a dummy. I don't like him." That'll be bad. He nodded as I read what Uncle Keiji has sent me. I put down my food for a minute and wrote a quick message back, telling my uncle about Shirabe and I had been working together to find his daughter. And Shan. Oh man, I kind of said some really nice things about Shirabe, didn't I?
どうした?
Oh, no, nothing. Shouldn't the game have ended by now?
ああ、そうだな。
I wonder how they're doing. They're all dead. They exploded. No. Then the restaurant's door opened. You're back! It was the rest of our companions, alright, but when I saw they were carrying Urabe, I stopped short. Okay, so they saved Urabe. I assume, yeah, because this one would be the Bizarre Planet one, right? But then, well, I can't remember. Didn't they go to, ironically, didn't Shirabe go to Bizarre Planet first? I think, right? I don't know. I don't know which game they played. I can't remember. It was like Bizarre Planet, there was the animal music game, and obviously there's the Colosseum. Maybe they did like a different game.
浦部
He was soaking wet and appeared to be unconscious. Yeah, that brings to mind what happened in Bizarre Planet. You know, he was held hostage there. Which is weird because I remember before we split up, Shirabe and Saki went to Bizarre Planet first. But then if the next game was Bizarre Planet, wouldn't they meet up? Or maybe they left before they actually went to Bizarre Planet? Something like that. They seem just as surprised to see us.
お前たちどうしたんだその怪我
Yeah, but maybe they probably went to the games in different order maybe because Saki and Shirabe were probably missing, for a few days at least. Maybe one day. I forget it was like 1 or 2 days. Probably one day.
ボロボロだね。
Can't remember. No, they went to okay, the first day, or at least when they split up, they went to the space game. Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. They went to the planet Ox or whatever, Space Ox, something Ox. They played the space one first, and then they went to the Star Planet. That's what it was. Now I remember.
ワルドムーにゲームを仕掛けられてな。なんとかクリアして舞を取り戻したんだ。
I just forgot about that because ironically, a lot of the routes, they usually start with that game, the space game, the gun. But in this route, not so much. We kind of skipped that part.
ということは、調べ前の失踪はやはり奴の仕業だったということか。ああ、だが悪い扱いは受けてなかったらしくてな。舞は無事だよ。よかったぜ。女子供を人質に取るなんて本当にろくなやつじゃねえな。あの豚野郎。
What about you guys? How did you find Urabe?
こちらも浦部君丸を人質にしたゲームを仕掛けられてな。どうやら同じような状況だったようだな。
Is he okay?
脈はしっかりしている。時間が経てば意識も戻るだろう。ただ この通りずぶ濡れだからな。
Not only that, but his face was very pale, and it looked like he was shivering.
このままじゃ風邪か肺炎になっちまうな。おい、店の中に暖房入れてやってくれ。
The piglet nodded and ran off. A few seconds later, I felt the restaurant begin to warm up. The piglet returned with an armload of towels that he handed off to Wakasa.
このバスタオル貸してくれるって。
He dumped the towels down on the table in front of him.
お、気が利くじゃねえか。
The piglet scratched his head in an embarrassed sort of way and scuttled back into the kitchen.
やっぱ服が濡れたまんまじゃまずいからな。体を拭いてバスタオルでくるもうぜ。よし、じゃあ浦部の服を脱がせるか。
手伝うよ。
They set to work pulling Urabe's soaping clothes off, and I quickly turned around, just looking at his naked body. Give me some warning next time.
なんだ、そんなに慌てることはなかろう。
It's just a dick. Don't worry about it. I'm not panicking, just being polite. Come over here, Mai.
見ちゃダメなの？
It's just like a very wet, naked man, you know? Don't worry. Don't worry. There's nothing over there you need to see. Now, come on. I hustled Mai a few tables away and remained properly ignorant until they had finished wrapping Urabe up.
お嬢ちゃん、もういいぜ。
Okay. I turned around and saw Urabe laid across a couple chairs, wrapped in numerous towels.
ミイラさんみたい。
確かに。
ほら、マイ、変なこと言うんじゃない。
We still had some time until the hotel arrived, so we decided to stay at the restaurant while Urabe warmed up. After everyone had relaxed a bit and finished their dinner, Shirabe began to speak.
以前に言った俺が追いかけてる事件のことなんだが、いろいろ考えたんだが、お前たちにも話しておこうと思ってな。ああ、確かに詳しい内容はまだ聞いていなかったな。どんな事件なんだ？俺が追いかけてるのは12年前に起こったバスの炎上事故なんだが。
For the next few minutes, Shirabe repeated everything he told me. How the police had decided the crash was an accident that had been caused by the driver's condition. How he'd become convinced that it wasn't just an accident. As I watched, eyes widened and mouths gaped all around the table.
金戸循環バス炎上事故だと。
Shido was the most surprised.
それは俺の親父が関わっていた案件だ。お前の親父さんが？おいおい、ちょっと待てよ。俺の両親が死んだのもそのバスの事故だぜ。
And there's like a revelation that we had before in other routes, but yeah. Everyone's like, oh, you're all related now? Because of the accident and everything? Your parents.
一体どういうことなんだ？
Could it really just be a coincidence that Shirabe, Shido, and Mitarashi all had a connection to the same bus crash?
とにかく情報を整理してみよう。まずはシド、お前の話を聞かせてくれるか？ああ、わかった。俺の親父はやはり刑事でな。それも足で情報を稼ぐような古いタイプの刑事だった。その親父が死ぬ間際まで悔やんでいたのが金。親父さんが悔やむ？ああ、当時親父は捜査員の一人として事故の目撃者や遺族への事情聴取に回っていた。しかし捜査の最中に突然上から中止の命令が出たそうだ。親父はことあるごとに事故のことをつぶやいていた。あれは事故じゃなく事件だ。そして上層部がその事実を握りつぶしているとな。なんだと？親父はそのことを無念に思いながら酒に溺れて体を壊し。
Is that how he died? I don't
死んでいった。
remember if Shido said how he died. but I guess he literally drank himself to death. Okay, I don't remember that.
お前さんは親父さんの無念を晴らすために刑事になったのか
Though, did he? Well, is that like? Well, actually, is he exaggerating? Is that hyperbole? Like maybe he didn't die? No, he did die. He said he died regretting never getting to the truth. So I guess he did die. You know, sometimes when you say, "Oh, drank yourself to death," you don't literally drink yourself to death. But in Shido's father's case, maybe he literally did drink himself to death. Anyway.
正確に言えば違うが、まあそんなようなものだ。
Shirabe grunted and scratched his beard. Beard?
事故じゃなく事件だと疑っていた。それに上層部からのいきなりの捜査中止命令。よし、次は見たらし。お前の話を聞かせてくれ。ああ、それは俺が小学生の頃の話だ。バスに乗ってた俺の両親が事故で死んだ。俺の親父は雑誌記者でな。いつも何か事件を追いかけてて、家に帰ってこないことも多かった。
Wait, is that your mentor? Or is it someone similar?
その日はこれからむちゃくちゃ忙しくなるから、その前に夫婦二人で出かけるとか言ってよ。
I don't know if we learned about this before, but yeah, because this seems like Mitarashi's father was Shirabe's mentor in that
その
case.
途中で事故に巻き込まれちまったってわけだ。雑誌記者？おい、お前さんの父親雑誌記者だったのか？ああ、そうだぜ。いや、でもお前さんの名字はみたらしだよな。だとしたら違うか。だが偶然にしては。どうしたんだよ、おっさん。いや、なあみたらし。お前、岸谷進って名前の記者を知らないか？
Okay, that's probably his mentor's name.
おっさん。
Yep.
あんた、親父のこと知ってるのか？
Interesting. Little small things I feel like we're learning.
なんだと？じゃあなんでお前は岸谷生じゃないんだ？
And I guess he didn't catch that because Mitarashi's last name is different.
両親が死んだ後、母方の祖母に引き取られたんだよ。それからずっとお袋の旧姓のみたらしを名乗ってる。
Yes, of course.
そうか。おっさん、そうだったのか。お前が師匠の。
Before any of us knew what was happening, Shirabe threw his arms around Mitarashi and hugged him. You're my new son, you know? Yeah, I don't care about you're my new son, you're way better.
おい、おっさん、いきなり何してんだよ。そうか。息子がいたってのは聞いてたが、こんなにでっかくなって。
He's more proud of Mitarashi than he is of his own daughter, I feel like. Anyway, he grinned up at Mitarashi. But the larger man didn't seem to share his excitement and look away awkwardly. He's just blushing.
調べさん、少しは落ち着きなよ。
おう、すまん。ついな。まあ、俺は別にいいけどよ。まさか、あんたが親父の知り合いだったとはな。お前さんの親父さんは、俺の記者としての師匠にあたる人だ。どれだけ世話になったことか。そうだったのか。まさかおっさんと俺にそんなつながりがあったとはな。
それにしても俺たち7人のうち3人が金堂循環バス炎上事故の関係者だったとはとても偶然とは思えないな。
ああ、もしかしたらゲームの参加者はたまたまワルド部に選ばれたわけじゃないのかもしれん。
So you think he brought us here for a reason?
まあ、自分から立候補したお前さんは例外かもしれんが。
Yeah, not Saki. She's just a shoehorned in protagonist, so
ひょっとすると
there's nothing to do with the case.
よし、 お前さんたちも事故に何か関わりがあるんじゃないのか。
And then we know Wakasa and Miyoshi are connected, though whether or not Wakasa will remember or Miyoshi will admit that in this route, I don't know.
僕は何も知らないけど。僕も事故のことなんて。
Stop lying, Miyoshi. Come on. Come on. Lie, Miyoshi. Come on.
そうか。
We were silent for a few minutes, thinking before Shido spoke up.
そろそろホテルが着岸する時間だ。この話はまたにしよう。浦部君丸のこともあるしな。
He was right, so we picked up Urabe and headed for the docks.